Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the Friday, the 13th of September 2019, guys. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this. Um, as always, Friday's morning session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so also just a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which you can always check out on a daily basis. You can find a lot of valuable material here, so I believe, like I said, you can find it useful. So feel free to check us out here. We'll always be happy to see you here. And yeah, but for now, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to touch on here is the DAX, the German index. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, and that's from last time. When we looked at this one, it did meet one of our resistance levels. It was around the 12,250 zone, approximately around there. But since then, it could continue to accelerate higher. So, looking at this picture right now, we can see a nice rally basically. So we are trading above this little tentative upside support line. Let me just put this one on the chart. This one's taken from the low of the 15th of August, but also from the more short-term perspective, we are trading above this other upside support line here, taken from the low of the 28th of August. So these two nice upside lines here are currently kind of showing the way, dictating the rules. Let's put it that way. And for now, and as long as it remains above this steeper short-term tentative upside line, we will continue targeting the upside. The next potential target for us to watch, and let me just quickly put this one on the chart, is this one right here. And this is not only the high of the 29th of July, but also is near the intraday swing low here. Or is it an intraday? Yes, exactly. That's an intraday swing low of the apologies. That's the low of the 24th of July. So there we go. Finally got it right. So this is the level that we're going to be targeting again, because as you can see that yesterday the index did try to overcome this 12,476. I talked about this area previously in one of my videos where I was covering DAX. If we get a nice push above this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could then target the next potential area of resistance near the 12,600 zone. So that's basically the high of the 25th of July. So again, a good potential target here. Of course, slightly above that, we do have this little peak here of the 4th of July, and that's around the 12,656 zone. So not far. But again, like I said, for now, before we could examine these two levels, we need to see a nice good push above the 12,476, 77 zone here. And like I said, then we can target these two areas. In terms of the downside here, well, we'll be very cautious and wait for not only a break of this upside line, the steeper upside line, of course, but also a drop below the 12,312 area here. This way, the index would kind of open the path for itself towards slightly lower areas. We'll be very careful here, because there are some obstacles underneath. I mean, there are some potential good areas of support as well, and not to mention, of course, this upside line. But in a way, One of the targets could be around here, and let me just quickly put this one on the chart. This one right here near the 12,180 zone. But if that fails to withhold, then slightly below that we do have this little territory around the 12,080 zone. So you can see that previously it acted on the 4th of September. It acted as a good area of resistance, and on the 5th of September, the next day it acted as a good area of support. So that's why for now, I mean, in order for us, let's say, to consider slightly lower areas, we need to see a drop below the 12,312.10 zone, so approximately around here. So keep your eyes on this one. Keep your eyes on these two levels. Let's wait for a clear break before acting on this one. Jumping into a few pairs now very quickly. AUDJPY. So the risk-on environment remains, even though we can see that because as we know, AUD and JPY is kind of one of those risk measurement pairs, and looking at this, looking at the acceleration here, and as you can, is also what you saw in the indices field. You can see that yes, AUDJPY continues to rise. The only thing is it's currently getting a hold up near this little level right here, just slightly below it, and that's around the 74.33 zone. We need to see a nice good push above this, and to be honest, ideally we'd like to see a push above these recent highs, this week's highs, near the 74.47, 48 zone, and only then we will consider a further move higher. Now, this is what we will target then. We will target the area around the 74.89. Could be a nice potential resistance zone. As you can see, previously it acted as good support and also resistance here on the 31st of July. But again, like I said before, we could examine that. Initially, we need to see that nice good pop above the 74.33, and only then we will aim for slightly higher levels. We're not going to drag this one too much to the upside for now. We're just going to go step by step. As you can see that the pair doesn't really do these huge moves in one go. I mean, apart from a few times here, but kind of, as you can see, it continues just to slowly grind higher. So that's why we're going to be very careful here. If we see a push above the 74.33, yes, we will aim for the 74.47. But this basically a break above this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then we could aim for the 74.89, and then we'll take it from there, of course. In terms of the downside here, previously I had this level here on the chart, but I actually need to get rid of this because this is no longer valid, and this one is probably no longer valid here. But what's more interesting and what's more valid will be this little territory near the 73.83 zone. So keep your eyes on this one. A drop below this area would also place the kind of the rate below the 21 EMA here, and we could then start aiming for maybe slightly lower areas, or in other words, a correction to the downside, where, like I said initially, if we see a drop below the 73.83, then we could aim for the 73.39 zone, which is the low of the 10th of September. So keep your eyes on that one. EURJPY. So working out nicely as we talked about it yesterday. So these were one of the levels. So basically, the only thing is that initially, when we had the announcement of the cut on the deposit rate, the ECB cut its deposit rate by 10 basis points, and we saw that the euro was declining initially, and it was traveling lower. It broke this key area of support near the 118.31. I talked about this one in a way. What I was saying, that if we see a drop below this, then we could aim for slightly lower levels. Initially, we'll aim for the 117.68, and the next level could be around the 117.23 zone. So it never reached the second one. It ended up testing this one. I mean, slightly overshot it, and then drifted back to the upside. So during my trader's tea time yesterday, the pair was trading around here basically, and what I was saying that if it suddenly travels back above this 118.31 zone, then there is a good chance we could see this one pushing back to the upside here towards the 119.58, sorry, 119.17 zone. So, to be honest, I didn't quite expect it to actually travel above the 119.17, but I mean, well, that's what happened. It ended the day here above this. Then, of course, this increases the chances now for a further move higher. The only thing is that still be very careful with the euro. I mean, with the strength. I mean, the news was not really that good. So in a way, this rally in the euro is quite suspicious. So I mean, for now, yes, we could see this one pushing a little bit higher. We will aim for the psychological 120 zone here on EURJPY. The only thing is that let's not forget that we are, I mean, I wanted to draw a nice downside line here, but we actually broke one of these, so in a way it becomes a little bit irrelevant. But what I can say for now is, guys, yes, be very careful. We will target the 120 zone, the psychological 120 zone, maybe even actually a little bit higher above that, around the 120.33 zone, which is not far from today's R1. Could be a nice target, but we'll be very careful here. We'll be very cautious. Like I said, for now, yes, we could see this one pushing a little bit further north. Aim for the 120 or 120.33, and then we'll take it from there. We'll take it very carefully, because if it does decide to travel further north, I mean, toward higher levels, this is where we're going to be keeping a close eye on. This is the 121.37 zone, which acted as a good area of resistance back here on the 25th of July and also on the 29th of July. So, but again, that's a bit of a long shot here. For now, we're keeping a close eye on the 120 and the 120.33 zones, and let's see how this is going to play out near those areas. If these going to hold, one of these is going to hold, then we could see a bit of a correction back down here. So be very careful, guys. Euro dollar also making a nice push yesterday, and this is what I talked about. So basically, if we see a push back above the 1.1024, then there is a good chance we could see this one pushing a little bit higher here. What we're going to be targeting here right now is, of course, the 1.1085 zone. I talked about this one previously, because even if we see a push above the 1.1085, we still need to be very careful with that upside, because like I said, we are trading below this downside resistance line here, taken from the high of the 24th of June. So as long as it remains intact, we need to be very careful with that upside. Excuse me. If this suddenly, let's say, travels higher, tests this downside line, but fails to push above it, and then reverses back down, another drop below the 1.1085 could, in a way, maybe spook the bulls a little bit here, and we could see another slide, maybe move back towards the 1.1024-25 zone. So keep your eyes on this potential scenario. Like I said, for now, this could play out like this, basically. As long as this line remains intact, we could continue aiming lower in the end. So, but if this downside line breaks and we see a push above the 1.1129 zone, then this is where we will start considering slightly higher levels, like the 1.1163 or the 1.1190. So keep your eyes on that one. GBPCAD, also quite an interesting one. So today, keep an eye on the pound as well. We do have some news coming from the British Parliament, and it will be quite interesting to watch. So keep your eyes on this. For now, the technical picture here, and to be honest, let me just clear this chart a little bit. So the technical picture and the way it looks right now, we are trading currently near this little high of the 5th of September, and that's around the 1.6334-35 zone. You can see that it's currently kind of trying to make its way higher, and this is where this level also coincides with the today's R1. So in a way, if we get another good push above this, then we will aim for today's R2 initially, which is around the 1.6375 zone, 77 zone, something like that. And also it's near this little high here of the 23rd of August. So keep your eyes on this one, guys. Like I said, for now it seems that it wants to travel higher. It is trading above this nice tentative kind of upside line here. Beautiful, or actually, I wouldn't say even a tentative now. It's quite a decent upside line. So in a way, for us to examine the downside on this one, then well, we would like to see a drop not only below this upside line, but also ideally below this little area of support. And I do understand it's quite a big of a move here, but still, to be honest, I mean, we want to avoid here any possible ranging. So that's why this drop here below the 1.6208 could do the trick here for the bears, and we could see this pair sliding lower here towards maybe the 1.6095 zones or something like that. So keep your eyes on this one. Again, like I said, if we get to this stage, we will reevaluate this one. But for now, it's looking more to the upside. Let's see if it actually can travel above the 1.6335. If it does, then yep, there are some other obstacles on the way, like the 1.6375 zone, roughly around there. But if that fails to withhold, then yep, it could continue pushing higher. And the last pair for this session I wanted to quickly touch on, and that's USDCHF. I talked about this one this week, and basically it still trades inside this nice rising channel formation. Last time when I talked about this one, it was trading around here and maybe slightly above this 0.9929 zone. So in a way, then at that point, it looked that it could continue pushing higher here. It could travel towards the upper side of this rising channel, but as you can see, it reversed back down and is now currently trading near this 0.9890 area. So I talked about this one previously as well, and basically what I was saying, that if we see a drop below this, then to be honest, this increases the chances for another test of the 0.9855 zone, which currently coincides with the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. But if that fails to withhold, it could end up testing this lower side of the rising channel. Now, again, this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for the bears, because if this lower side starts breaking and we see a drop towards the 0.9794 zone, well, this could possibly be forming something of a double top here, with the neckline being around here near the 0.9794. But then again, don't get me wrong, it may even actually rebound from here and push back to the upside, and this way it could form a range. So that's why for now, until kind of it didn't happen, I mean, we can only speculate here, and we can only try to predict and see if we can actually get it right. So that's why for now, what you could do is just keep an eye on the 0.988685 zone. A drop below this could, in a way, like I said, open the path towards lower areas. In terms of the upside for us, well, now we need to adjust this level here a little bit, because as you can see, it got violated. So for us now to maybe start considering slightly higher levels, ideally maybe I would like to see push above the 0.9920 zone here, and then of course we'll aim for these recent highs, and those recent highs were around here, and this week's high is basically the 0.9947 zone, and if that fails to withhold, then yep, we could aim for higher levels. So basically this is going to be our the upside scenario, where we will start considering higher levels on a break of the 0.9920, and then we'll take it from there. But again, like I said, for now it's looking more to the downside. Let's see if it actually can travel further south, but we need to see a good push below below the 0.9886 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. Okay, guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it till the end. If you want to join me later on at my Trader's Tea Time, as always, that's 13:15 GMT. For now, I hope you have a beautiful trading day, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.